Fortunately, our next guest is ready. I ain't got to fill nothing. So, Rocko and Willie.
Starriders. I am Rocko, world-famous puppet magician, and this is my good friend Willie. Say hello to everyone tonight.
Hello, everyone. My, what a great-looking group here tonight, Rocko. Is this really a biker club?
Starriders is a riding and touring group, Rocko. Willie?
Oh, I see, tire plug. So I guess that means no wet t-shirt contest, huh?
No, Willie, no wet t-shirt contests. We enjoy good rides, good food, and a good laugh.
Go easy, Gear Lube. I don't ride and I don't cook, so I'll just try for some laughs.
We're all set then. Where do we want to start tonight, Willie?
Cut to the chase, Hacksaw. Let's tell some stories about some of the people here tonight. I got some stories you may not believe.
Willie, be nice. These are nice people.
Rocko, don't you ever get tired of asking me to be nice? You've carried me out here for 9 shows and still, be nice, Willie. Get over yourself, Everest. Would you rather I did Harley jokes, Gearlobe?
We always pick on Harleys, Willie.
What do you call a Harley that doesn't leak oil?
Oh, I don't know.
Empty.
Oh, man. Was that it?
What's the difference between a Harley and a Hoover?
Geez, I don't know.
The Harley has room for 2 dirt bags.
Oh, Willie. Oh, man. Okay, now, you're wound up kind of tight tonight, aren't you?
I'm getting old, Rocko. Crusty, even. I used to pick on people because you made me do it. Now, I can do it without you.
Okay, as long as you think so.
Let's see. You all know Steve Anderjack?
Yeah, sure. He was a club president.
Slow up, Gunga Din. He's a good man, all right, but
nothing, Willie. Steve has supported 124 for a long time.
roll your throttle back, Speedball. I know that, but I got a story about Steve that's pretty good.
I guess I can't stop you, Willie.
Spoken like a man, Brutus. When they were first married, Steve was always bragging to Barb that there was nobody who didn't know him.
We all know him, that's for sure.
Yeah, now get this part, Wingnut. After many weeks of bragging, Barb decided to call his bluff while they were in California. Barb said, "I bet Bruce Willis doesn't know you." So they went to Bruce's house and Steve knocked on the door. Bruce Willis opened the door and shouted, "Steve, old man, how the hell you doing? Come on in for some lunch." Barb was surprised, but she was still skeptical because we all know that Steve can be very clever.
Bruce Willis knows Steve? Awesome.
You got that part right, Die Hard. So later, when they were near Washington, D.C., Barb asked, "What about Obama, Steve? Does he know you?" Steve said, "Of course he does." So they went on one of those White House tours. When Barack and Michelle saw Steve, they said, "Steve, old friend, how are things? Won't you join us for dinner?"
This all sounds amazing, Willie.
Sit, lassie, and listen to me.
Okay, Willie.
Poor Barb, she wanted to believe Steve is so well known. So when the Pope was in town, she asked Steve, "What about the Pope? Does he know you too?" "Well, of course he does," Steve said. "Let's go see him."
Willie, this sure sounds like one of your tall tales now.
Don't sweat it, Armpit. So there they were in a sea of people, and the Pope was still backstage. Steve said, "Stay here, Barb, and when you see me and the Pope step onto the stage, then you can come up too."
Does the Pope really know Steve?
Stuff it, Jim Sock, and I'll get to it. Well, Steve did make his way up to the Pope, and they both went onto the stage. But Barb never came up. Steve was so disappointed. When Steve made his way back to where Barb was, he saw a paramedic swabbing her forehead and giving her water. The poor girl had fainted. Steve asked her, "What happened, Barb?" "I was doing fine at first, but when you and the Pope stepped onto the stage, everyone began asking, 'Who's that up there with Steve?' That's when I fainted."
Wow, you managed to get a Pope joke in, Willie. Very clever.
Just getting started, Solenoid. I see Bob Groves tonight. You know, it seems I got a story on Bob every year. Well, this year again, he's done some things nobody knows about yet.
Bob has been the hard-working VP of this club.
That's well enough, Stick Shift. But listen to this. When that group went out for the ride overnight on the Dragon, Bob had some trouble when he checked into the hotel.
Who hasn't had trouble checking into a hotel?
This beats them all, Panther. Bob checked in, no problem, and went to his room. 5 minutes later, he called the desk, all in a panic. "You've given me a room with no way out. How do I get out?"
No way to get out of the room?
Just listen, Philco. The desk clerk said, "Sir, that's absurd. What do you mean there's no way out?" And Bob said, "Well, there's one door that leads to the bathroom, and a second door that goes into the closet, and another door I haven't tried because it's got a do not disturb sign on it."
Ooh, that was cruel, Willie.
Feeling the pain now, Dr. Phil? How about Mike and Carol? I see them out there. You know, they were riding through the Blue Ridge on the Cherahella Skyway this summer.
Ah, what a beautiful stretch of highway.
Cool it, Prestone, and let me tell the story. As they were getting close to the Skyway, they started arguing about the pronunciation of Cherahella.
Cherahella, Cherahela.
Cherahella, Cherahella. Give it a rest, Footpeg.
Okay.
Mike and Carol argued back and forth until they stopped for lunch. As they stood at the counter, Mike asked the girl, "Before we order, could you please settle an argument for us? Would you please pronounce where we are very slowly?" The girl leaned over the counter and said, "Burger King."
Very good, Willie. That was good. Nobody here believes any of that, though.
Neither one of us has been sworn in, Perry. I see our good friend Ken Stokes, our Sergeant at Arms, Captain Midnight.
He's a brave guy, Willie.
Oh yeah, he's brave, Tonto. Ken ain't scared of nothing. But listen to this. Seems he has a cousin who was having trouble trying to sell an old farmhouse down near Lake Marion. Folks in the area believed it was haunted, so he couldn't get anyone to look at it.
Haunted farmhouse.
You got it, Casper. Haunted. Anyway, his cousin had a Yankee couple who were interested, so he had a plan. He offered Ken $100 to stay there one night and chase whatever they may be out of the house.
Wow, easy money, huh?
Not so fast, Roadrunner. Ken didn't just fall off the turnip truck. He told his cousin, "Make it $200, and I want 10 pounds of catfish and a case of red knee-high for the night to make it a deal." His cousin agreed.
10 pounds of catfish, knee-high.
You got it, Flipper. Ken loves them catfish. So anyways, Ken sets up in the old farmhouse with the catfish, a big old cook pot, a bag of charcoal, and a bucket of ice for the knee-high. About that time, it started getting dark. He had a charcoal fire under the cook pot full of grease, and he popped open a knee-high. This was going to be an easy $200, he chuckled.
10 pounds of catfish and a case of knee-high. Man.
Sound like heaven, eh, Gabriel? Sometime later, as the grease was starting to get really hot, Ken had just opened another knee-high when the front door creaked open, slowly. Ken looked and saw a small, evil-looking man not even 7 inches tall, walking toward him.
Is this for real?
Pipe down, Popeye. The small man walked right up to Ken and said, "Are you going to be here when John gets here?" Ken shouted back, "Beat it, you little bug of a man. You're just a figment." And he threw a bottle cap at the little man. The little man spun around and jumped out the door.
Ken is a brave guy.
Stick with me, Elber, and let me finish. A while later, the grease was bubbling, and Ken dumped all the catfish into the pot, and it began to hiss and splatter. He felt good and opened another knee-high. This will be an easy $200.
10 pounds of catfish and knee-high. What a great night, huh?
Think again, Einstein. Just then, the front door creaked open again. This time, a man-like creature about 3 feet tall walked in. The creature had skin like a lizard with yellow-green hair, yellow eyes, and long, bumpy legs. The creature looked around slowly, then walked up to Ken and said, "Are you going to be here when John gets here?"
What the heck was it?
Get a grip, Kuryakin, and I'll tell you. Ken summoned his nerves and threw the knee-high bottle at the creature, yelling, "You ain't nothing. You get out of here." And it ran quickly out the door. Ken was a little shaken, but the catfish was almost ready, and the knee-high was cold. He would beat the haunted house and get that $200.
So all of this was his imagination then?
Not quite, Dreamboat. Just as Ken was ready to begin his feast of catfish and knee-high, the front door flew open. A large creature, 7 feet tall, walked in. Large claw-like feet scraped across the floor, glowing red eyes, and foul-smelling hair almost to its waist hung from a large head. Ken could see pointed teeth. The creature said nothing as it walked up to the pot of boiling grease and catfish. It reached in with both hands and pulled out all the catfish, which it ate in one gulp. It picked up the pot and guzzled the boiling grease to the last drop. Then it scooped up a handful of glowing charcoal to wipe off the grease dripping from its jaw.
Wow, what happened next? What happened?
Ease up, hoss. The creature turned to face Ken, and with breath so foul that it froze Ken motionless, it bellowed, "Are you gonna be here when John gets here?" And Ken yelled back, "If you ain't John, I'm out of here." And he shut out the door and ran for almost an hour before he stopped.
Wow, no $200, I guess.
No $200, no catfish, and the farmhouse is still for sale.
Well done. One heck of a story, Willie. Good job, Ken.
You got that right, Longfellow. Hey, Rocko, I see our good friend Patrick, the kissing bandit. I happen to know something that happened to him this summer.
Are you going to make up a story about Bandit, Willie?
I don't need to make up anything, Avon. Patrick is such a Romeo, but he always manages to get himself into trouble. Ken and Deb set him up on a blind date. Patrick was excited, of course, but he was also pretty nervous. What if this blind date was a mistake?
Blind dates are a risky business.
You got that right, Tom Cruise. So Patrick called Debbie just before he went to pick up this girl. "Debbie, I only have a minute. I'm about to pick up Roxanne. Can you call me in an hour just in case it's going bad? Then I can make an excuse for leaving." Deb agreed, and they both checked their watches. Patrick gave himself a quick spray of cologne, checked himself in the mirror, and headed out.
Blind dates.
Yeah, blind dates, Helen. Well, Patrick picks her up well enough, and they go to Mellow Mushroom in the Vista. Their conversation proved to be awkward with many long silences, and after 30 minutes, Patrick began looking at his watch. Deb would call soon.
Time flies, except when you're watching time.
Well said, Mr. Hawking. Patrick really tried to get things going, but after 10 long minutes, his phone finally buzzed. Patrick listened for a few seconds, grimly pursed his lips, and turned to his date. "Roxanne, I feel terrible, but my grandmother is terribly sick, and I must go home now." "No problem," said Roxanne, with a slight grin. "In a few more minutes, my dog was going to get run over."
Oh, Willie. That's sad and funny at the same time.
Glad you liked it, Chucklehead.
Well, we're almost out of time, Willie. We'd better just say goodnight to everyone.
Okay, Starriders, our time is up. I had a good time tonight. Drive carefully and don't forget to tip your servers. Good night, Starriders, and Merry Christmas.